What's up everybody, Cursing Mushroom here, and welcome back to another This Week at Bungie video. So today guys, I want to bring this video to you because there are some pretty important things going on at This Week at Bungie. I thought it'd be pretty stale, but I think there is some information that I'd like to share with you guys. So let's just scroll through here, and first things first, this right here is just talking about E3. If you want to read it, like always, I put the link in the description down below. You can click that and be redirected here and read it for yourself. I'm not going to read all that because there is a bunch, but I did want to start off with marking your calendar. So what they've done is they've created pretty much a timeline of events that are coming to D2 during the summer, which I really like this. I hope they continue this throughout the next couple of years that this game is pretty much relevant before D3, because we all know there's going to be a Destiny 3. But anyways, if you take a look, so we've got July 3 through 9, 3rd through the 9th. We've got Faction Rally Winners Week, Mayhem Crucible Playlist, and Bungie Day 7/7. July 10th through 16th, we've got Iron Banner, Guardian Con, 13th through 14th. July 17th through the 23rd, we've got Update 1.2.3.717, Final Faction Rally of Season 3, and Supremacy at Crucible Playlist. So that's going to have the new exotic update to the armor, and some other nice things that we'll get into once we go a little further on this page. And then July 24th through 30th, we've got Faction Rally Winners Week, Doubles Crucible Playlist, and then on the 31st, we've got Solstice of Heroes Begins. So it's another new event. Can't wait to see what it is and what it's about and all that good jive. Try not to, spoil anything. And then right here it says an early preview. So what they're saying here, I'll kind of read a little bit. I don't want to read too much. But what they're saying is the Crucible playlist is going to update on 1.2.3 when it was released on July 17th. So this is going to take place on July 17th here for you Crucible players. So what's happening is Crucible playlist update, quick play, increasing player configuration to 6 versus 6 and updating the playlist description, removing supremacy from the pool of available game modes, control, updating control to win score to 150. Control zones will initially be neutral, and clash, they're updating clash win score to 100. So what's happening there is quick play is going to be now 6v6. At first, I was really hesitant and really didn't like 6v6. I didn't like it in terms of when Iron Banner first got it, and I've come to enjoy it more than the 4v4. But I think it's because when in Rome, everybody's using power. I mean, that's the only way to win. I mean, not the only way, but it's very heavy on power. And honestly, I just run around with the tractor cannon and just boot people. It's fun. It's not that I got to do the best, it's just fun to just bloop and their bodies go flying. I mean, that's the most fun I've had in a while. But let's move on. Competitive. Bomb fuse timer countdown lowered from 40 seconds to 35 seconds. General. Rumble will become a full-time playlist. You'll be able to select that now if you want to. And Supremacy will be added to the weekly feature playlist, updated to 6v6, and have a win score of 150. Now they're changing the way Crucible ranks work a little bit. Nothing too crazy. Players will be able to earn Valor rank from additional playlists, competitive Crucible labs, Iron Banner, and Trials of the Nine. So now you're going to be able to get pretty much Valor from everything. Joining a game in progress will protect your Valor win streak for that game. If you lose, no penalties incurred to your Valor win streak. And if you win, Valor win streak increases. So if you join a game and you happen to lose, you're not going to lose that. But if you do happen to win, then you will be on a win streak. Players will be matched using their glory rank. This means your opponents will be similar rank to you. The higher you climb, the tougher your opponent. And then glory loss streaks will be retuned to be less punishing over time. Consecutive losses will decrease the rank points lost instead of increasing, and streaks will still cap out at 5. All rank streaks will no longer reset once they hit their cap. There are many more changes to Destiny 2 coming in July, and we'll be giving a few more patch notes, previews leading up to release, providing developer insights, and commentary when possible. So that's pretty much it for the Crucible changes. And then we've got prestigious affairs. They're talking about the prestige raid Lairs. Let's get into this. This is kind of interesting. And there's some things that they talk about that are kind of awesome. I've never really seen this in the middle of I mean, if I have, I don't remember. It's been so long. D1 or something like that, but I can't remember anything like this. So let's get into it. Okay, so obviously when 1.2.3 releases, you'll get Spire of Stars and Eater of World raid layers on Prestige mode. Awesome, right? And this is what you get. We believe players will be chasing after 3 different pursuits in the summer Prestige raid layers. 400 power weapons. The only way to get 400 power armor before Forsaken is by participating in the Summer Solstice event. So that's the only way you can get 400 light power armor is by playing this Summer Solstice event before Forsaken comes out. So make sure you're playing Summer Solstice if you want the armor. And then, but the only way to get 400 power weapons before Forsaken is out is by completing Prestige Spire of Stars and Eater of Worlds. It's the only way you're going to be able to get 400 power weapons. So note that. Every time you complete all the encounters in a Prestige raid layer that week, you'll be rewarded a 400 power raid weapon. This can be any raid weapon from Destiny 2, not just the weapons that drop in the raid layer. So know that you can get pretty much any raid weapon at 400 power, which is going to be awesome because you'll kind of get a boost on everybody when it comes to Forsaken and all the changes that are happening to power and how Iron Banner is going to be, power effective and all that stuff. You might want to do these things and get that jump on the opposition. And what you do. Now, we're going to go to that, but I wanted to say one thing, and I'll just highlight it here. Okay. Exotic Masterwork Catalyst. Both raid layers have a Masterwork Catalyst that can be found only as a rare drop in the activity. So there is an exotic Masterwork Catalyst. And then also they're going to have a Prestige layer is going to have each set of unique armor ornaments. Now moving on to what to do. Let's get back to that. Each week there is a curated weapon suite and a global activity modifier for Spire of Stars and Eater of Worlds. The weapon set and modifier will be the same across both activities. Curated weapon loadouts are based on weapon archetypes. So over the summer you might see combinations that require you to equip auto rifle, submachine gun, sniper rifle, or scout rifle, hand cannon, and rocket launchers. Loadouts are not locked inside the Prestige raid layer. You can bring tons of different guns into a raid layer and swap between them at will as long as the gun meets the required curation. For example, if you're doing Spire of Stars and the loadout is auto rifle, submachine gun, sniper rifle, you might want to use the Cirrus Regime for Valkar Phase 1. But swap to Ghost Primus for Valkar Phase 2 so you can equip the Darcy for boss damage. Makes sense. We are shipping 3 activity modifiers of the raid layers rotate between. 2 of these modifiers are brand new and were built from the ground up by the raid team to work in raids. The third is a fan favorite from Destiny 2, Prism. Sorry, that's a fan favorite. Absolutely fucking not. Excuse my language, but I fucking hate Prism. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But anyways, let's move on. Each of these modifiers I can't help it. Each of these modifiers should be are designed to provide guardians with advantages over their enemies when they lean into it. The goal of using these modifiers and loadouts is to change the way you engage with Prestige raiding each week. The first week, the modifier and weapon loadout might synergize really well with strategies and armor exotics you've been using for months. Next week, the modifier and weapon loadout might push you to explore the encounter in a different way and use different exotic armors. Looking at you, Lunafaction. Now, wait a second. Let's go back to this Prism thing, okay? It might not be so bad if they don't change shields on stuff because, if for instance, if they're all void, just putting it out there, if they're all void and everybody just uses a void energy weapon and just use your kinetic whenever it's solar or arc, you won't have any issues. I see that could work. And then use your supers accordingly to what class you're using and what raid, like golden gun, bow, hammers, Nova Bomb, whatever. It's whatever your choice is there. But I think that could be okay. Let's just wait and see, because I don't think there's a bunch of different types of shields in the raid layers. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I don't think so. It's either solar or void for the most part. But I don't know. Whatever. We'll get to that when we get to it. We'll see what happens. You never know. So I've got some regular questions here. Is anything happening to the Prestige version of the Leviathan raid? Nope. It will stay exactly the same. So pretty much nothing's going to change. But it does say here, secret, if you stayed this far, Guardians, it might be worth going back and playing some Leviathan Prestige to see if Callus has any new way to enhance one of your favorite exotic shotguns. Dude, if they make that shotgun, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Okay? Oh, God. If they make it like... Oh, shoot. That thing could be so lethal. What would you put on it? Rampage? Just fucking... Boom! 6 people down, 1 shot. Don't worry about it. Any Prestige raid layers getting per encounter changes? Nope. They're keeping everything the same. They're just adding the modifier and the weapon loadout stuff. How many of the Prestige raid activities will be active each week? All of them. And when will the Prestige raid layers become available? Currently, the plan is for both Prestige raid layers to be active with modifiers right when the patch goes live. We feel this is in line with Prestige being a new way to play each week instead of a one-time event, but we're open to feedback on this. Okay. And then costs and collections. Everybody's worried about deleting stuff. Don't worry. They said pretty much all this says is that when Forsaken comes out, if you've ever had it, you'll be able to get it from your collections. So don't worry about dismantling it, whether it is a weapon, armor piece, ghost, ship, sparrow, emblem, or shader. Don't worry about dismantling that. Don't worry about dismantling your armor and weapons. They say that every piece of gear that you are holding in your inventory or within your vault upon the launch of Warmind, if you had dismantled an item prior to May 8th, it will not be available within your collections. So just know what's happening here, okay? So, you know, there it is. There it is. Just don't delete nothing. Me personally, I'm going to tell you this right now. Don't delete nothing if you don't want to risk not having it again. But if it's something that you're just like, I don't ever use it, I'm just saving it for that day, it could be good, go ahead and delete it. That's what I would do. But it's up to you. Make your own choice. So what items from year 2 can be required from the collections? With the addition of random perk rolls to items starting in year 2, we had to make a tough call for collections. We invested numerous options for gear with random perks, fixed collection perks, buyback limits, reroll mechanics, and many others. But each of these came with issues that impacted the collection experience in a negative manner. Ultimately, we decided to disable purchase of all year 2 randomly rolled legendary weapons and armor. This is a good thing. I don't want people to be able to repurchase and re-roll. You get what you get by luck. You know, that way someone who plays 6 million hours can't just always have the best stuff. Even though they put the time into it, there's like come on, I put in a couple thousand hours. I should still have those things and probably wouldn't. So anyways, we don't like keeping some items from experience the full collections treatment, so you're looking at a long-term solve for storing your exact perk rolls in collections. How much will it cost to require items out of collections? We're currently working on a cost for item acquisition, and there will be further information later. And they say here we have 2 main goals when deciding on a reacquisition cost. Reacquisition cost isn't a currency sink. We aren't trying to make you spend all of your hard-earned glimmer. We just want to make sure that items you find out in the world are still valuable. Players won't have to deal with currency conversions. For example, if a shader dismantles into glimmer, it costs glimmers to acquire. If shader came from Eververse, it will dismantle into bright dust and therefore cost bright dust to reacquire. The same goals are true of all the collection items. Makes sense. So note, a lot of you have been asking about the cost of shaders. We can say that they will have a cost to require from collections, but there will no longer be a cost to apply shaders to gear. That's pretty good. That'll be nice because I won't have to worry about changing it on the fly. Here's a quick example. Let's say you just got the sweet Callus Treasured shader to drop from the raid. You're able to apply it immediately at no cost. If you want that specific shader on all your armor, weapons, ghost, ship, and sparrow, you'll need to pay some more glimmer to reacquire a handful of copies straight out of collections. That's pretty cool. Problem is, once you get one of each shader, now we're in this same boat. Like, come on. Like, I don't mind the shader grind. It like keeps everybody a little bit different. Before we move along, purple and gold looks fantastic on the upcoming Tangled Shore Warlock armor set. You heard it here first. How cute. We are requiring Gear from the collection, what power level will they be? Collection items will come out close to your current power level, but will require infusion to be ready for in-game activities. This is a delicate balance of making sure collections don't create a leveling exploit, but still provide items that are usable right away in most activities. I think it's a good idea. Don't make it like match your power, because then what will happen is people will figure out a way to exploit it and make it a little lower, but it's still usable. But that's going to be it for today's This Week at Bungie Guardians. I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, in the description down below, I'll leave the link for this. And with that being said, I hope you have a great afternoon, morning, day, or night, wherever you may be. As usual, Cursing Mushroom out.